Excellent. Great. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is episode 131 of the Tech Sales Insights. Really excited to have Anthony Anzevino with us today. He is a great longtime go-to-market tech sales veteran, but you'll find out he didn't necessarily start out that way. He's currently at Commvault as a global VP of customer success and renewal sales. He has a great topic, which is selling with customer success, increasing the lifetime value of a customer. So there'll be lots of great takeaways there. We're sponsored by Alexander Group, who's a awesome go-to-market consulting company. I kind of call them, blue collar. They're kind of very efficient. They've been there forever, but anything you want in terms of org, channel, redesign, compensation, kind of all the different kind of go-to-market pillars. They really do a fantastic job. And we'll hear later, Anthony, you've been involved with them a little bit too, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Consummate professionals, as well as their insight is not only broad from an industry perspective, but they can go deep when need to. So unbelievable partner, unbelievable resource. There
you go, Alexander Group. And also I do some cool podcasts and webinar with them with lots of great content. And for those that are members of Sales Community, thanks. For those that are not, Tucker can put up the link. You can get a free membership, salescommunity.com/summer free. So jumping into things here with Anthony. So he lives in Monmouth County, New Jersey, right near the Commvault headquarters. And interest besides work and family is exercising, and he's an avid reader. So very cool for you to be able to make time for that. So we've kind of haven't necessarily worked together at the same time, but we've known of each other and know definitely great reputation, great go-to-market relationships, authentic, ethics, integrity, partners, kind of all that good stuff. But I got some more specifics on you, which might be worthwhile for everybody. So one is Frank Roush, who by chance we had as a guest last week, who's a longtime channel chief of a lot of companies, including recently Cato Networks. Frank says, immensely enjoy my time working with Anthony at VMware. Leadership, teamwork, and accountability define Anthony. He's a sales leader that understands and leverages channel and other cross-functional organizations. Wish him tremendous success at Commvault, working alongside Sanjay and Ricardo. Ricardo, who's CRO there, another fantastic leader. Spoke to you yesterday, actually. Says Anthony's probably one of the most client and partner-focused executives I've ever met and managed. He's very hardworking with high integrity and loyalty for the clients, always operating with a customer obsession type of approach. He also scored as top-rated manager of our internal employees anonymous survey for 2 years in a row, quoting him as humble and a passionate leader. Very cool. You're also, according to Ricardo, a data maniac, so I'll have to ask you about that later. Very strong operationally, and his governance skills combined with strategic vision, overall an A-plus player that every organization will benefit from. So you got to make sure you put that in your resume file, huh?
Yeah, consider that done. This recording's going to stick.
There you go. So if we jump into the questions here, Anthony, so maybe start off with maybe your first job, undergrad. You're at East Stroudsburg University, Pennsylvania, graduate school, College of New Jersey. But again, you didn't take the typical approach that most take that are in sales in terms of what your major was or what your first job was either, right?
No, absolutely not. I started off as a healthcare provider and an athletic trainer, director of clinical rehabilitation at the College of New Jersey. I was a college professor. I taught anatomy and physiology and kinesiology. I, again, worked in their wellness center and the director of clinical rehabilitation for both men and female sports. So it gave me a really great understanding, not only of, learning, but how to apply it and to, customers, as well as really our overall patients. And one of the key learnings I got from that, Randy, was the ability to listen. So yeah, really, really unique. And over time, I realized I like the business side of medicine more than the medicine side of medicine. So it propelled me into my next step and how I got into business and IT sales.
Awesome. So what was your career progression from there?
Yeah, so I worked in the medical field for about 1 year, and then I moved to EMC from a first technology role. And I was able to get into EMC because I earned a healthcare sales rep role in the commercial division at EMC. So although perhaps my knowledge of IT wasn't as strong yet, it was really a great understanding of the industry. So industry knowledge, industry expertise, and then with a great training and development program they had at EMC, I was able to come up to speed very quickly. So understanding our customer has always been my main priority for success, and it continues today.
Awesome. So when you had that first sales job at EMC, who kind of in particular made a big impact on you in terms of learning sales?
So really, my first manager, Mike Keaveney, was really drove diligence and that perspective. Kevin Scannell, from my first area manager, was someone not only was a great leader, but someone who really kind of bridged the customer focus side to understanding technology and easily translating it. And then David Boyle was my first, area manager when I became a district manager, kind of my first few years there.
Awesome. I remember the fond memories going on sales calls with Kevin. I don't think I ever laughed so hard.
Yeah. He knew customers from Ohio to Boston, and he knew them 3 layers deep. So just a great sales leader and even a better person.
Yeah, awesome. And Dave Boyle and I were together back when we all had a lot of hair, but you're definitely a great sales leader there as well. So then maybe quickly, then after EMC, kind of go through your progression from there.
Yeah. So for me, during EMC, I was a district manager, and I became a director of sales strategy under Joe Profeta. And then I had the luxury to move over to VMware. So at VMware, I was hired to run the Northeast, actually, for enterprise and global sales, working for Pete Dockery and reporting up to Jeff Casale, who's, a lifelong mentor for me.
Great guy, yeah.
Yeah, so over my tenure at VMware, I started off running the Northeast, and then had the opportunity to take over the Eastern Seaboard, which would have been Northeast and Southeast together, and became a DVP of the East for enterprise and global accounts over, my 4-year period there.
Awesome. And then from there?
So I moved to AWS. So I ran mid-market sales for AWS for a little over a year. And what a great learning experience when you talk about, the understanding of cloud economics, cloud consumption, and customer centricity, right? The tagline of they're the most customer-centric company on earth really flows through not only in what their core values are, but what they do every single day. There's also a lot of academics to it, right? When you think of how we approached every meeting, how you approached every customer, and it really helped drive a lot of the data maniacness that I have. I've learned to obsess over every day, and then customer obsession was just really dialed up, at AWS.
Yeah, and that was the early days of cloud, right?
It was. Yeah, I ran they had multiple divisions at that point in time, but it was, mid-market, and it was, better half of 11, 12 years ago. And the economics, the growth, the trajectory that we saw back then was unbelievable, and it's still moving that way today.
Awesome. And then from there?
I spent time in the e-commerce space with First Data and Joe Profeta. So Joe, who was a boss of mine in the past, we worked together. I worked as his, chief operating officer, director of field sales, understanding and building out their go-to-market. And what was great about that is really taking the customer e-commerce view of it, how not only cloud, but the way people consume information, and not only consume it, but how do they pay for it. So it gave a real 360-degree view of the e-commerce in the marketplace, as well as in IT. And then from there, I moved to Veeam, where I worked there for over 3 years, running their mid-market commercial division, SMB, and at a point in Canada. So out of the North American sales, reporting up into, Peter McKay was the CEO at the time. And, again, another tremendous leader, tremendous person and mentor. Yeah.
Then you have Ratmir too, who's always awesome, right?
Oh yeah. Right. Ratmir is a pioneer and a world-class thinker when it really comes down to not only building software, but at the same time understanding, what customers need as well.
Yeah. And then you went then Veeam to Commvault?
I did.
Yeah.
And, again, Commvault was a great opportunity for me to build something, great within a great company in a different role. Right. So, with, Sanjay Mirchandani, as well as, Ricardo, and David Boyle, all here at Commvault. It gave me the opportunity to work with and learn again from great people in an entirely different role, an entirely different environment. And me about it, and I'll talk a little bit later, is I'm always trying to learn something new. So this was, a whole new role, a whole new opportunity for me. And since now I'm in the customer success renewal space. So
that's awesome.
It's been awesome.
Yeah. So amazing career. Congratulations for sure. So if you look back, any kind of one or two things in particular that you think has really been pivotal to your success?
Yeah, I would say first was learning, not only self-learning, but having the strength through humility to ask more questions. I found early on in my career, those who ask more questions learn more and learn faster. So it takes a lot to make that role of, I'm going to outwork everybody in the room, which you can still do, but be humble enough to where you can ask questions, learn to fail fast and fail forward. And especially if you do it for, the greater good, the benefit of your customers and the benefit of your market and your peers. So once I got through that, strength through humility, I was able to learn at a much greater pace. And it gave me a different perspective of what success looked like for me. And then how can I help others? As always, right? What am I learning that can help others, whether it be customers, peers, mentees, mentors in my career? And then again, it also knocked down the barriers of fear to learn. So I felt that there's really nothing that can't be taught that I couldn't learn. If you're humble enough to take the time and work hard enough to put the hours in.
Awesome. And we have a comment from Dean. So thanks, Dean. So for any of those watching along, I should have mentioned before, so feel free to ask questions, make any comments here along the way. And we got Tucker behind the scenes helping. Thanks, Tucker, and we'll pull it up. So Dean says Anthony is the best. He mentioned being customer obsessed, but I got to say maybe the best partner advocate I've been around. So if we segue to that, so what do you think are your strengths when it comes to the kind of notion of partnering? And we had Frank Rausch on last week, who obviously said great things about you, who was his life has been in the partner side and channel side.
So one of the things I learned from Joe Profeta, he always had three common goals. First was motivated, knowledgeable employees. The second was customer satisfaction. And one of the things I learned early on in my EMC days was it's customer and partner satisfaction. I've always heard a lot of sales reps say, I want to be viewed as a partner with my customers. But I always thought it was even better to think of your partner as your customer. So I really combine the two, right? And anytime I go to market, your scale is with your partners, your understanding of their skills and their strength, and thinking of their outcomes and learning their understanding of what their business model looks like. So it's not just revenue for whatever vendor I work for. What is the margin profile? What is the profitability profile? So, I would always look at scale. I built my business to do 300%, but I'm only one person. So I'd always take the idea of I wanted to view my partners as a customer the same way and give them the same passion I did for my day-to-day customers. And it's always paid off.
Awesome. It's a great way to divide and conquer. Right? I never understood it. You have some reps who say, "Oh, I don't want to, I don't want to, work with any partners." And they say, "Well, geez, I need pre-sales resource. I need this resource, that resource." I'm like, "Okay, so you want to hire some SEs or SAs? Yeah. How many would you like?" "Well, one would be great. How about 20? It's like, how would you do that? Like, go work with friggin' partners. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's the greatest formula. And again, taking the time to learn their subject matter expertise and putting them in a position where they'll be successful versus think you can, put them in any situation. And I always also talk to current reps and others when I ask them, how do you scale with partners? One thing you may want to think about, in order to get the value add, you have to have a value ask, right? You can't just assume that something's going to happen. So be specific, understand their business, understand their expertise, and work on their behalf.
So awesome. And then Justin said, yes, all about asking questions and outworking everyone. I won't ask you to comment, but I know from talking to friends that kind of outworking and work ethic and all that stuff seems to be almost a lost art, unfortunately, with some of the crazy younger generations. But anyway, and then Justin says, I like all of Anthony's principles, so thanks for that, Justin. And then a LinkedIn user says, great man, great leader, and great coworker to learn from. So LinkedIn user, if you want us to know your name, feel free to let us know. And Tucker is just chatting, saying Chad Blackwell. So Chad, thanks for those great comments as well. And Chad, feel free to ask any questions as well here. So awesome. So, for folks, again, that are watching, if you want to comment, ask questions, please feel free. So tell us maybe a little bit more about Commvault.
So you really take a look at Commvault's trajectory, right? It's got a tremendous history, 26-year history of being a leader in the Magic Quadrant from a Gartner perspective. But one of the things that we're really making huge movement in, especially you see our transition from the traditional data center, tier 1, tier 0 data protection into the hybrid cloud data protection workloads, right? Our movement with Metallic and the meteoric rise of Metallic in the SaaS market. Our ability to ultimately protect any workload on any platform at any time is really starting to see and really help our customers move to one platform. In the data protection market, a lot of our customers have multiple data protection platforms. We're able to help our customers see that one platform, one pane of glass. And Commvault's innovation is second to none in this space. So it's an exciting rocket ship, both with our traditional software business as well as this meteoric rise of Metallic.
That's awesome. So certainly been around, lots of customers, Magic Quadrant leader, but everything's good. Any challenges that you have?
The challenges that we see is really simplifying the complexity of our customers, right? We deal in the high enterprise customer as well, all the way down through the SMB with our SaaS-based offering. And although the challenges are different based on size and scope, how are we simplifying that complexity? And it is really, we have a great technology platform that's been proven over 26 years. We're helping our customers financially change and manage their infrastructure. So not only on-prem, but helping them with their cloud-native backup and really reducing overall costs there. And then we're also doing a great movement around workforce transformation, and the data protection group and the security group coming together, right? When you think of the idea of just data protection, but ransomware and security, that footprint really starts to move. And as our customers face so many new challenges beyond just backup, those challenges are, very bad actors in the marketplace. We're bringing that together. We're also so obsessed over our customers, but more importantly, the people. And making that backup administrator role, making the data protection role really start to morph and move in with the security piece, helping our customers see that change. Right? You kind of think back where VMware was, right, Randy? We had a server admin move to a VM admin to a cloud architect. Right. That transformation of people in the marketplace is something we're driving and helping people better understand, because that's a big challenge for CIOs today is really how are they helping their talent develop to meet the needs of the market and the threats of the market is that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, where are we here? So I guess I'm going to assume it's Chad says, Anthony has really challenged me to work better with his team for the greater good of our customers and our partners in renewals and customer success. So out of curiosity, if Chad, what type of role is he?
Chad's our VP of partners in the Americas.
Oh, awesome. Cool. So great partner in crime there. So very, very cool. And then I always forget if it's Denny or Denise. I know him. Dennis. Yeah. Great person. We worked together a bit at Veeam. Anthony's programmatic approach to driving business, holding teams accountable, and creating not only great external, but also internal partnerships, and his business motivates everyone around him to succeed. So lots of great comments there. So, I think a lot of times, externally, people always think about, partnering and things that you could do there. What do you do that's special in terms of these internal partnerships, and why is it effective?
The scale. Again, it's the greater good. When I think of the three business goals I always have, the first one is motivated and knowledgeable employees. And how can I help be more successful in the role that I have, but at the same time, never asking something of someone without understanding what their goals are, right? So what I do today, how does that help impact our partners? Dennis was one of my greatest, SC counterparts. How can I help his team be more effective? So when you're thinking of others and their success and how it can contribute to the greater good, it really builds common goals. And having common goals amongst all the group really starts again to bring scale, bring focus, bring execution in that, to solve any problem or obviously to crush your number. So it's been always for me, motivated and knowledgeable employees and people are the number one asset in any company, and it should be the number one goal of any great leader.
Oh, awesome. He mentions, holding teams accountable, but especially in this kind of virtual world, any things that you're doing kind of different and better now than you might have done pre-COVID?
So it's communicating common goals, both short and long term, right? And again, being more proactive in what's working and what's not. How do you fail? Are you failing fast? Why aren't you hitting your goals, right? But it's really rock solid goal setting and goal accountability. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, right? So we would put those goals together, whether it's gross renewal rate, it's net retention rate, it's NPS score, and then really asking feedback from the people you're looking to hold accountable. But make no mistake, these are mutual goals we agree to. You either do it or you don't. Why aren't you getting it done? And if, as a leader, if you're knocking down obstacles on people's behalf, they'll run through the walls for you, right? But hopefully you're knocking those walls down so they can sprint past you. So I'm always looking to set common goals as well. And again, holding people accountable for proactive things. Hey, did you do your training? I always like to think of training for performance and developing for longevity. So when we do a training, we put a revenue number to it. So if we're going to learn about Office 365, outcome of that training is we should be able to drive $8 to $10, $12 million of revenue, whatever that number might be. So we train for performance and we develop for longevity. So giving people their career vision, right, allows them to feel welcomed and drive towards that execution. Same way you would give vision to a customer with your product set and your portfolio.
Awesome. And Chad chimes back in, says, Anthony, can you talk about the integral role of the partner within the evolution of booking a deal to consumption, expansion, and renewal? So that there's a lot there.
So if you think about, so talk about the partner within the evolution of booking a deal to consumption. So when you land a net new customer, that's not to me, that's day one of the renewal, but you want to make sure that customer, and especially now where licensing type has changed, right? We've moved from a perpetual world to a subscription world to a SaaS cloud-based. And the number one thing that gets, I would say, highlighted is time and the value of time. So you may have a 12-month term. So you have to get that customer, the time to onboarding, time to adoption, time to second purchase, right? Partners are so important in that discussion, right? So when you book the renewal, where are they at in their consumption curve? Why aren't they consuming it fast enough, right? Are they having trouble? Do we need to train them, right? So really being diligent, but letting the customer know over the next 12 months, at month 3, you really should be here. At month 6, you should be here. Setting that clear vision and expectation with the customer so they understand when they're going to see the value of what they purchased. I also learned a great lesson. You can't tell customer value. Your customer tells you when their value is based on your product, right? So from a data protection standpoint, data protection has been around for 30 years. Customers been backing things up. Now, unless they're backing something up for the first time, then they find value in it. But especially in a SaaS-based world where you're not leveraging current infrastructure on-prem, you don't need to see the server or network or storage person. You could purchase much more rapidly. The time the value of second purchase becomes for the customer, wow, what a great, easy way to do business. So for me, partners are the foundation and they're the front line of the customer relationship.
Awesome. Any recent positive experiences with partners you want to give shout outs to?
All of our go-to-market partners are fantastic, right? And you have different ones, right? You have local partners like for us in the Northeast and even New Jersey, one that I've known for a really long time, through CDI and that organization. You have Rich Falcone as the CEO. They've done a tremendous job of really helping their customers with a broad portfolio of data protection products and giving them the opportunity to build out an infrastructure, specifically on Commvault. So CDI as a tremendous local partner on the East Coast and Eastern U.S. And obviously we do so much great work with CDW and SHI and Insight, but all of our partners are great and again bring value in every transaction.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew CDI back in the Eric Baker days.
Yeah, Eric, tremendous. It's funny, Rich and I have known each other. I think my first opportunity, I worked at EMC with was with CDI, and Rich was part of that first customer interaction. So I've known him for a long time, and what a great organization.
Yeah, and I mean all three of them, right? CDI, SH. I mean, Ty's done an amazing job with SHI. Chris Corley, now kind of running things at CDW. You know, Insights. Yeah, amazing. All those companies. So, all right. Well, again, thanks for the questions and comments. Keep them coming. So we have our title topic: selling with customer success, increasing the lifetime value of a customer. So. I know from our proper talking, but it's actually customer success is actually a board level discussion at Commvault.
It is. And, you know, we have Allison Pickens, who one of our board members who has been the COO at Gainsight, who has really helped shape, you know, not only my vision from a customer success standpoint, but understanding and deep knowledge